What's going on, everyone? So I'm very excited for JJ Redick in year two. And I've talked about pretty much all offseason how I think that that's something that needs to be factored in. JJ Redick just being better will make the Lakers better. I thought he had a very good year last year for head coach. Did he have some rough moments, some rough patches? Sure. Did he make some bad calls at times? Sure. Right? But that was to be expected for a rookie head coach. I thought for the most part, he was really good. He helped lead the Lakers to the 3 seed, right? Like he had some excellent moments. He was a guy that was very adaptive, very willing to change and take chances and take risks, right? I know a lot of people, particularly in the playoffs where he kind of just ran the same guys at the back end. I don't really blame him that much for that, right? Was it the best call? Was it the best? No, but nobody was showing up. Right? You're as good as your roster as a head coach. Guys like Greg Popovich might be the greatest coach arguably ever. And he hasn't done anything in 7-8 years. Right? The Spurs haven't even made the playoffs. Right? And he's one of the greatest coaches ever. Why? Because he doesn't have the talent. Right? Phil Jackson is another guy. Right? But he had guys like Jordan and Pippen and Kobe and Shaq and Powell and all these. Right? Great coaches have great talent and players, right? But even they don't win every year. Even they have bad stretches, right? But JJ Redick is a guy that was able to lead the Lakers to the 3 seed, had some moments, right? And tried some things, and they didn't work. But at least he tried some stuff. Remember Darvin Ham where we were screaming, do anything. It was like we were poking him with a stick, do something, try anything, please, right? At least JJ attempted something. It didn't work out, and if it did, but it's always one of those things, which, you see it in football a lot more than anything, team will take a risk on something, and if it goes great, he's a genius, Bill, what a guy, and if it doesn't work out, it's what is this bum doing, that's the dumbest decision ever, right? Same thing. If JJ Redick went with those same 5 the entire second half and the Lakers win that game, right? Guess what? Everyone's ooh, JJ, that might not be sustainable, but JJ, the mastermind, came up with the plan and was able to sneak out that win, able to sneak out that game in a game that you were probably not going to win anyway, right? But because he lost, everyone goes, dude, well, we could have told you that, right? But JJ Redick himself said, right? I wasn't perfect. He spent the last, 4 or 6 weeks after the season really kind of decompressing, self-reflection, kind of looking into, how he could be better. And he made a really good point that I think really, even I didn't really, take notice of. Obviously, I was aware, I'm sure most of us were aware of, but didn't really factor it in. And that was, he said himself, he went literally from doing the NBA Finals, right, being a commentator for the NBA Finals, to the Lakers head coach, a day and a half, 2 days later, right? So he didn't really have time to flush things out. He went from, doing the NBA Finals to now he's the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, taking that all in and just go, because we're about to jump into the season here, right? He didn't have time to do what he did this season, right? He talked about, he had time to kind of take a step back and reevaluate, right? But one of the things that I like about JJ Redick is that he's a maniac, right? I love how obsessive he is, right? And, he talked about in the presser and stuff that, there's things that he needs to improve. He's on is the way he put it. He's on when the games are on, right? And then that translates into, kind of bleeds into the media. And he said he really needs to learn how to turn that off. I don't want him to, right? I love it. I know some people don't. I know some people, when he's out there pushing back at the, and some of the media will cry about it. But I don't really care. The media crying, JJ Redick's mean. Good. He cares. Right? I mean, how many times do we see Darvin Ham go up there and just recite the same line over and over again, right? Or be like, man, the other team did a really good job, right? No, it almost, at times, it looked like Darvin Ham could care less whether they won or lost. I love that it bothers JJ Redick. I love that it sits with JJ Redick. I love that JJ Redick lost in the first round, and it is bugging him, and it is dwelling on him, and he is obsessing over it, and it is gut-wrenching, and he is furious. I love that. I want a coach like that. I want somebody that wants to win as bad, if not more, than the players. Right? Because he's going to continue to improving it better. I love that he's willing to take chances. Sometimes they're not going to pay out. Sometimes they will. Right? But I'd rather a coach take risks and try to win games that you're probably not winning anyway, right? Than do nothing and just keep, doing the definition of insanity, right? Like, I'd rather you do something, right? I love that JJ Redick is very willing. It's one of the things that I talked about why I wanted him to be hired so bad and why I was a big JJ guy was because it was like, dude, he's a guy that isn't going to be married to one philosophy, right? Part of the inexperience comes with he's not trapped in this box. I talked about with Darvin Ham, right? When Darvin Ham was able to stay in his box, he was great. He was actually fantastic, right? Watch that Memphis series. Watch that Golden State series again. Darvin Ham was cooking, right? He was very good in helping lead that team to a conference finals. But then he ran into a team where he had to get out of his comfort zone, where he had to get out of that box. And as soon as he had to get out of that box, didn't know what to do because he only knew what he was taught. All the reasons he was fired were the same reasons Mike Budenholzer has been fired twice in the last 2 years. Right? Like, that's the problem. But JJ Redick, he's not, like we saw last year, them have a clear game plan, go into the game, it's not working, and he abandons that game plan immediately and does something else. He said something that I loved in the press conference. Right? He said, no, it's not, and I'm paraphrasing, but I think it's almost spot on, but he basically said that it doesn't matter how I want to play. It doesn't matter what I think we should play like. It matters what is best for the team. Right? Every year, every team, it's different. Right? Like, because the question was like, last year's team compared to this team. Like, last year's team is not this year's team. You have like 7 new players, counting Luka. I know Luka was on the team last year, but he came in towards the back end of the season. Now you're going to have a full season in training camp and all those other things to really work out how you want this team around Luka. Right? So, like, again, JJ's right. It doesn't matter how he wants to play. Because he might not have the pieces. He might not have the players. He might not have the things needed in order to play the way he wants to play. Right? So his job, and every coach's job, is to find, okay, what is the best way for us to have success with this current roster? And if JJ can find that, the Lakers are going to be very good. Right? I'm very high on JJ Redick. I like JJ Redick. And look, maybe 5 years from now, he just got a new extension for 2 years. So he's got, 5 or 6 years left on his deal now. Look, maybe in hindsight, we look back and it just didn't work. But I think JJ Redick's winning multiple championships for this Lakers team. Obviously, Luka, talent, right? Like, because, again, like, the players have to play. Coaching is important, but coaching is limited, right? Coaching is more managing. You're just managing the game. Right? Even the best coaches, right? Like, again, you're only as good as your players. You're only as good as your players execute. You could have your players the best prepared, the most knowledgeable. You could have all those things. If they come out and they're bums that night, guess what? You're not winning that night. I don't care how good of a coach you are. Right? Like, so again, you need the players. The players have to match the coach. Right? I think JJ Redick, now that he is Luka Doncic long term and stuff like that, I think if Lakers can hold up their end on like roster, I think JJ Redick can help lead this team to multiple championships. I really like what we see from JJ. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.